Well, hello,
Oh, there's
everyone.
Frank. Hi, Frank.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Frank.
Hi, everyone.
You all
Hi,
gathered
everyone.
early today.
Oh,
Yes.
we, hi, Kay. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hi. I've been working. I've been on some heavy projects.
Oh, okay.
So my office is getting completely redesigned and recarpeted, and so we've had to move. It's gigantic. We've had to move sections back and forth, and I've been working on Saturdays. Not today.
Yay.
Not next
But
week.
good to
Oh,
see you.
good to see you all. I've missed you.
Yeah, we've missed you too, Kay. It's nice to see you back.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Judith. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Kathy. Rana, I see you don't have a microphone today, so you can't say hi back, but I'll say hi to you.
Well, she chatted.
Hi, Sidra. And hi, Jensine.
Hello.
Frank, are things good at your house?
Yes, everything is good here.
Good.
Everybody's healthy and doing well.
Yay.
And I heard you talking about the weather earlier. It's also very warm here. It's about 75 degrees here in San Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
We're hotter
unusually
here.
warm for this time of year. It should be 55 to 60 probably this time of year.
I'm hotter than where you are, Frank.
Yes, I heard that. You're,
Right.
what'd you say, 87?
Yeah, 87.
My goodness.
Mm.
Hi, Walter. You just
Hey,
joined
good
us.
evening, everyone.
Hello, Walter.
Hi, Walter.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Kathy, do you still have snow?
No, they said we're going to have a flurry tomorrow, and that's it.
Mm.
You going to the game tomorrow, Frank?
No, I'm having a Super Bowl party though for just a couple of family members.
Well, that's good.
Who are you rooting for?
I don't know who's playing. Oh, did I mention I don't follow sports? I know the 49ers are not playing. I did learn that much.
Well, the
It got
people
close,
who beat them are.
Well, no, if speed knitting was a sport, we'd all follow that one.
That's
Yeah.
Have you all seen that Asian guy that knits fast?
Yes.
Oh my God.
He also crochets like that.
It's unbelievable.
It
I looked at him, and of course they say he's a thrower. He's not a thrower. He's a left-handed continental.
Mm.
But my gracious, I was stunned. I was
Yeah.
like, how can anybody just
Knit so fast.
wow. Unbelievable. Is everybody watching the Olympics?
Yes.
That beautiful Nathan Chen skater. Oh my God, he's good.
Yes. How's your husband, Frank?
He's fine. We found out this week that it was more serious than we thought.
Ooh.
But he was quite dehydrated when he got to the hospital, and he's fine now. They just needed to. It turned out it was food poisoning.
Oh my.
We didn't know that until recently.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
I hadn't heard about. I'm so out of touch. I hadn't heard about this. I'm so sorry to hear that you went through that.
2 weeks ago, I started the meeting saying, my husband's not feeling well, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be here through the whole meeting. And then my son-in-law came over and took his temperature, and found out it was 102.5, and he came
Wow.
in, and I said, I gotta go. We're going to the emergency room.
Oh my God.
And so everybody was concerned, but he was there overnight, and then they sent him home, and they did things to him they didn't understand, and that he didn't understand because he didn't know how sick he was. And anyway, he finally got the record from his own primary physician this week and found out that it was much worse than he thought it was.
Mm.
And what the things they did, his blood sugar level had gone really high, and so they gave him insulin, and he thought that was a mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake, and so it was just a very trying experience, but he's fine. He's fine.
So what did he eat?
We don't know. We have no idea.
Really?
He might have gone out to a restaurant and gotten some bad lettuce. There's just there's no way to know.
Gotta be
That's so
careful.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary to learn how serious it actually was this week.
And emergency rooms are not fun.
No.
No, they're not great.
Jenny, you're here today too.
Hello, yes.
Oh, hi, Jenny.
Hi, Danny.
Hello. I was away visiting my parents last week, so yes.
And hi, Claire. Didn't say hi to you yet.
Hi, Frank. I came in a little late.
Well, we actually started a couple of minutes early today because so many people got here early.
Oh. Well, I've made progress enough to show. Are we showing and telling yet?
Oh, yes, let's do
can.
that. I'll spotlight you so you can show us what you've got.
Okay, don't be disturbed by the weird squiggles on it.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, yay.
Oh, wow.
Squiggles are merely my ends. I do not like ends flopping around, especially when I've got lots of needles flopping around.
Right.
So I just loosely throw them into the fabric. So
yeah.
That's a cool idea.
But look at how nice the shoulders fit.
That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
And it's a
Beautiful.
great color too.
Look here.
Love the color.
Oh, look, it changes colors depending on where I sit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm well on my way.
You are.
Yeah.
That's going to be beautiful.
Thank you. I'm at the part where I'm doing the sleeve caps, and thank goodness for all the abbreviations that you write so that you say this. But a lot of stuff has to go on in your mind, and stuff like that doesn't go on in my mind. I have to translate it into what I call Claire. This is what I do. I don't know if it's backwards or not. Is that backwards?
I can't read it. It's too small. Maybe move it closer to the camera. Is that possible? Oh, yeah.
No, it's
There it is.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Oh,
good.
you wrote it row by row.
Absolutely.
And
I
check.
have,
That's what they have to do to get through.
I have such a short-term memory thing. I'm knitting, and then it's like squirrel, and it's usually not in the form of a squirrel, but it's like, oh, the washer's done. I
Yes.
go get the wash, and I come back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I look at my knitting, and I try to figure it out. Anyway, so if I can tick mark it, good.
That's right.
For some reason, my brain don't work with the make one left and make one right anymore. And I have to keep going back and reading it to get it again. I don't know why, but it just doesn't stick.
As far as how to make it,
No, it's just like it says make one left, make one right. And my brain says, what are you doing? So I have to go back and read it so I can do it again.
yeah.
So
I had to make myself a 3x5 card so I could do it for the make one left, make one right. And whenever I'm to that part, then I
right.
just
See?
pull out the little card and I sit it right in front of me. Otherwise, I can't remember it. It's silly.
Yeah.
You know, I
It
just do
isn't.
the funny little
What's
card.
wrong? I don't know.
I simply ask myself, which way do I want it to twist? If you want it to twist in one direction, it's going to lean right. If you twist it in the other direction, it leans left. And if you know which way you're trying to twist it, then that will instruct you how to put the needle through and how to pull the yarn through.
Yeah, we had an epiphany. Someone else in a knitting class of Suzanne's had an epiphany, and it was brilliant. You literally, I could never remember. Do I come from the back? Do I come from the front? Which way? And then, like Frank said, you just look at this. You just stick your needle through there. If the stitch is leaning the way that you want it to go, right or left, then you did it right. If not, do it the other way. And it'll be leaning the other way. So all you can do is pick something up, pick up the bar, and whichever way it's going, that's the one you want to do.
All right.
That's right.
You have to write something down.
So I know I don't have to write how to do it anymore. See, I'm just like you're in the headlights for some things, and then other things, once it clicks in your brain, you're like, okay, got it. I never have to look that one up again.
I had a teacher on the Make One Writes and Laughs who said, if this is easy, if you can get that needle through easily, you're doing it wrong.
Right. That's correct.
Right. That's right. Then you're making a make one open.
Yeah.
So that kind of taught me, oh, that was too easy. Go back.
So I'm working on my ribbing.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Yes.
Oh, that turned out beautifully.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yay, yay.
So the next question I have is, since it's mostly garter, do I really need to block it?
If it fits, you don't have to block it.
Oh, good. I'm not going to block it.
In fact, if it fits and you block it, it may not fit after that.
No, that's what I'm afraid of.
Are you attaching that on sideways then? So like a 10 stitch, like the short row blanket, 10 stitch blanket? Yes, right.
So I had to have the ribbon going the opposite way. Or, you know, not the way everything else was going. So yeah.
That's different, yeah.
So when I did my swatch on that one, it was all in a single color. And then when I got down to, you know, doing the two color, I'm going, I don't like that. And then I realized I was on the wrong side. I had to, you know, take it all out and switch it to the other side of the sweater, and it looks so much better. So yeah, I like it now.
Lovely, yeah. Yeah, no, it's a lovely design feature, really nice.
Thank you. So I'm sure my sister will like it when she gets it in April. I got time to finish it.
Is it for her birthday?
That's a yes and no, but she's coming up for Passover from San Diego. So yeah, I was trying to get her to decide to come up in May because up here there's going to be an air show. There's mostly going to be women, you know, women pilots and women, you know, crew and everything else. So she's not going to do that.
Interesting.
Where do you live?
What's that?
Where do you live?
My sister lives in San Diego and I live in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh. Lovely.
So. My daughter's coming up, not next weekend, but the weekend after. She's crocheting a sweater for me. And I really don't like crochet. But she does. And
you like your daughter.
I did the sweater for her last time. And so she's coming up for the Rose City Yarn Crawl up here the last weekend in February. And then she's going to, the following weekend, she'll be down at Stitches in Sacramento. So I'm jealous.
When is Stitches? I'm a little
first weekend of March.
Oh, good.
March?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
And what is Stitches? What event is that?
Stitches is a knitting, a fiber conference for knitters, crocheters, spinners, and weavers.
And now also sewers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they added that in now.
And they have them scattered around the country. But the largest one is the one here in California, which this year will be in Sacramento.
Okay.
Wait, what? It's not in San Jose?
Nope.
No.
It's in Sacramento?
Uh-huh.
They moved it for the first time in years.
And Rhonda just said it's March 3rd through 6th.
Yeah.
So what happens at the conference?
Well, you lose a lot of money.
Yeah. A lot of classes.
Like gambling.
Yeah.
Not as many vendors though this year.
Yeah. Is it always run by Vogue?
No, it's not Vogue at all.
Oh, no?
No, this is
because
not
in New
Vogue
York,
Live.
it's run by Vogue.
Vogue Live is a different conference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Has anybody been to Vogue Live before?
I have it on my email, but I never go to look.
I always wonder what
Because
it's
they always
like.
they want a lot of money for the classes. So.
I was signed up when the pandemic started because it was supposed to be in just like, I don't know, a month or 6 weeks up here, right when stuff started. So no, I signed up, but I didn't get to go.
Are any of you going to Stitches West?
No.
I won't be. I've been to Stitches SoCal twice. Then one in Pasadena. I don't know if they're going to have it this year. It's held in November. Haven't heard about it. But if they're doing Stitches West, maybe they'll do Stitches SoCal.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they will.
Well, I'm going to Stitches West.
It's a little too far for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just a bit.
I've never been to the Rose City Yarn Crawl. Is that the Pasadena, not Pasadena, Portland, Oregon?
Yes.
Okay.
So in a couple of weeks, I'll let you know how it is. There's only 8 stores participating.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
That makes it a little more doable.
Well, and then you're going to end up having to probably stand outside and wait because they only allow 6 people in the store, and yeah, it'll be interesting. It's a nice clock sound.
It's Mary's clock, I think.
Yes, it is my grandmother's clock.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, cool.
It's not as tall as a grandfather's, but you could see a little bit of it.
I can see a tiny bit.
My head. No, that's my bookcase. No, that's my.
It's to the left of you. Now it's by your head.
There.
It's by your head.
Yeah.
It is not an antique, but if I live much longer, it will be. And then my kids can fight about it. However, my son has graciously said Mom, Beth can have anything she wants. That's why she's so spoiled. Everybody in the family has always said that.
Frank, tell Andrew I'm enjoying his book again. I'm about a quarter of the way, third of the way.
I'm sorry, who's speaking? Who's speaking?
Claire.
Oh, Claire. Oh, there you are. Tell me again.
I tell Andrew I'm enjoying reading his book again, if you can call it enjoying, but it's.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I'm getting even more out of it the second time around, so.
Well, he is very proud of the third edition. He really thought he finally got the book that he was trying to write all along.
Oh, so, that's wonderful.
What book?
Very interesting.
It's called My Epidemic, and it is his memoir as an AIDS doctor in the late 80s and early 90s.
Oh, wow.
While he himself was also infected with HIV. He was a doctor at an HIV clinic and watched over 50 of his patients pass away. Always thinking that he could be next. But he continued practicing as long as he could. And now he's written his memoir about that experience. And it's really quite a powerful story. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. I can only read five or 10 pages at a time, and then I have to stop and cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's it called again?
My Epidemic.
My Epidemic.
It's available on Amazon. The author is Andrew Falk, F as in Frank, A-U-L-K. So if you search on Amazon for My Epidemic, Andrew Falk, you'll find it.
That's why it sounds a little strange to say I'm enjoying reading, because it's not necessarily an enjoyable
it's not a fun
read.
book to read. It's not a fun book. No,
but it's very very insightful. Makes me think and also realize, you know, what a tame existence I've had.
Oh.
You know, just,
yeah. But as I recall, you were also active in during the epidemic years with.
Not me. That was Jackie Engstrand.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Yes. She's a nurse.
Jackie was.
Yeah.
Well, the 80s was such an interesting time. I graduated from nursing school in 84, and I just remember that so strikingly, and how so many things changed, and, you know, people's attitudes needed a big readjustment after that, and, you know, how we took care of patients in healthcare. I remember when I went to school, what we were taught in school was to never wear gloves when you took care of patients. And then there was a big explosion of everybody had to wear gloves. And then, you know, certain people didn't want to take care of certain patients. It was just awful.
Yes.
And, yeah, it was quite an interesting time.
And Andrew talks about that in his book, how it just forced the world to say, look, we are here. And then talking about all in medicine, how a lot of things change. It's a very interesting read.
It's a memoir, so it's in the form of a lot of personal anecdotes. So they're very personal stories. And some of them are about his own reaction to things, and others are how the world treated patients, how families. Often, you know, in those years, it was considered a terrible thing to be gay. I mean, it wasn't at all like today, where it's just considered normal. And many families found out their son was gay when they also found out he was dying of AIDS. So it was a double whammy for them, and they just had all kinds of different emotional reactions to it. it was, and then, as you said, there was some medical professionals, like people who would deliver food, who wouldn't go in the room with an AIDS patient, so they'd leave the food outside on the floor. And my husband would come and he'd find their tray on the floor and take it in and give it to them.
I mean, there were literally people who would not take care of people.
Exactly.
Right.
It was strange and bizarre and just, it was a wild time, I'll tell you.
Yeah, my friend in New York here was a nurse there, and he was gay anyways, but he took care of 30 AIDS patients in Stony Brook because no one on the floor would go in there and touch them. So he was there all the time. No.
Wow.
It's a shame.
I think almost all of us have am I on? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
We can hear you.
I think all of us at a certain age have this memory of that. My husband was the only lawyer who would see a client in Salt Lake City. So he and the only doctor who would see a patient, the same people, kind of shared for a whole community. How do you help somebody who needs sort of the basic things of daily living? And now my husband is at the final stages of his life with a dementia. And so he almost can't tell his story. He doesn't even remember it, which just kind of breaks my heart. I think the current epidemic that we're going through that now seems to be almost universal feels like, do we have to go through this again?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in point of fact, I guess we're doing better than we did the first time, and so it's there. I think one more thing that's sort of odd is that my mother was a teenager in 1916 when the soldiers started to go to Europe and then came back with what was called the Spanish flu. And her family sent her off to take care of relatives. And that meant she had to quit school and never was able to go back again. So I'm only one generation from that horrible epidemic that destroyed the finances of her family and the ability to go back to continue high school. So we're not very far from the repeat of these kinds of things.
Yeah. I think we've made so many advances, and then sometimes it seems like we're just repeating.
And how do we care for her? Yeah. And that epidemic had the same battles about masks that we're doing now.
Yes.
Don't
even get me started.
There were demonstrations in large cities. Seattle had demonstrations about. Can I ask a knitting question?
Why, yes, but for some reason your voice is breaking up a little bit, David.
I'm sorry. Is that better? Oh,
Yeah,
I know what's wrong. I had turned down my sound.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm using my earphones. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because the the earphones pull out the background noise. You see these two gauges.
Yeah.
I'm coming to the end of the green sweater and trying to get ready to start on the new sweater. And I've made this sweater out of what I thought was number 4 needles. But when I try to, just for some reason, I went back to these gauges to measure the needles to start again. The needle won't go into one gauge at number 4, but it wants to go into the gauge. So is that a common thing, that needles, even though they say 4 on them, may not fit in the gauge that says 4? Is there any standard
I have heard that different manufacturers' needles might not be quite the same size, but I haven't had the experience of a 4 not going into a hole that's measuring 4, but I suppose it could happen.
What I find is that I'm putting it in the wrong hole. Pay close attention to whether it's US or the millimeter, because they're both there. So if you see a 4 and you stick it in that hole, it might not be US 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and my gauge is not. My gauge is not. I think sophisticated enough. The number 4 says 3.5 millimeters. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I don't have one with me, but I usually find that's why it's not going in the hole, because it's not the right number 4.
Well, so the principle, I guess, is that if you find a swatch that you like and you like the fabric, and you put that number into Frank's formula, you just need to make sure you make the sweater from that.
Use the same, always use the same needles. Yes. Always use the same needles for your sweater that you did for your swatch. That's okay. That's definitely the case.
That makes sense. And I think I'm overwrought about more things than I need to be overwrought about. But
yeah, it sounds like you've got
spring,
a lot.
Spring is coming.
Right.
Spring is
and I'm working on. I'm still learning how to bind off. We won't discuss.
Well, hi, Ron. I didn't see you there for a while.
I snuck in. I left work early today to get a little rest in before I have to return to the stage as Lady Bracknell.
Is tonight your final performance?
No, one more weekend.
Oh.
Stop that. Yeah, so this is weekend 2. And spring has fully sprung. In fact, spring oversprung. It is 88 degrees here right now, and I'm angry.
Wow.
Yes.
88 degrees, wearing 25 pounds of taffeta. They gave me a second wig so that when I sweat out the Act 1 wig, I could put on an Act 3 wig. But yeah, I abandoned poor Tim at the shops. I got my mask on. I'm coming to you live from my bedroom, but I've got lots of Phrancko projects on the go. Have we already done show and tell? Did I miss it?
No, we haven't done show. We've done some show and tell, but not everyone. Go ahead.
So I'm diving right in for making some Phrankkos for publication concurrently with one another because I can't be stopped. One child's sweater and one man's sweater, or one man-shaped adult. So I've got some sketches. Let me see if I turn down the lighting on my screen here.
The cookie.
What happened? What have I done?
We still see you.
You see this?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Cute.
Hot fudge.
Cute.
That's cute.
It should be cute. It's too blown out. How lovely. What if I get really close?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
so this will be a standard pullover with a little color work section. Make it look like drippy goo.
I love that.
Oh, that's nice.
Little matching cherry hat.
Very cute.
Are the drippy bits going to be 3-dimensional? You know, like come out of the fabric?
No, they'll be 2-dimensional. They'll only exist in length and depth. And if you turn them to the side, they won't exist. Yes, they're stranded knit.
Okay, nice.
So they will be in 3 dimensions out of necessity.
All right.
But they'll be pretty flat. Yeah, they'll be stranded knit.
That's
I was
cool
toying
that it's a stranded knit it's just a small portion. So for people that just want to dip their toe in, they can just do a little bit, not think about it has to be the whole
That's why
sweater.
I settled on it, because I was thinking of like doing a stacked increase thing or an applied I-cord thing, and I decided I wanted to do something approachable. So it's just 9 or 10 rounds of stranded knit in a very easy pattern, but I think it has a high impact. I left those swatches
it's
at
cute,
work, but should be cute. I'm looking forward to that. And then let's see if you can see this. Can you see it?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice illustration.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So it's a Henley based on the video game character that they're adapting into a film that's coming out next week, who wears a Henley and everything, that is always pushed up to the elbows.
Oh.
So what I'm working on, because it is a pain to keep a knitted thing pushed up to the elbows, right? It grows over time and then it falls down. So what I'm working on, what I've just swatched before I left the shop today, it will actually be knitted in.
Ooh, that's cool.
So
that's nice.
I toyed with a few ways of doing it, and I decided to knit in some ruching.
Some what?
Oh, I like that.
Ruching.
What does that mean?
Ruching.
What is ruching?
This. a gather that is worked into a fabric.
I see.
Because I was toying with some ways to do like a Henley that is meant for the sleeves to be pushed up to the elbows. And I thought, well, I could just take this down to negative ease and make it 3/4 length, and but I really have no control over how your arms are at that point. Right. And then I thought, well, the best way to make it look like it's wrinkled up, but have it be, here are some instructions, just knit them and then you can wear it and it will do that, is just to knit the gathering in. So
knit it wrinkled.
These are very varied lengths that are then picked up on rows knit below them. There's the bind off. You can see it. The lighting is poor in here. So it's just one length of fabric because I keep knitting different lengths, picking them up. So this is my swatch to test the concept and how it will look as a sleeve.
Oh, good.
But I'm pretty pleased with it. And it has a very deep placket. The placket comes down like below the peak of the chest and in the inspiration piece. So it'll be an 8-inch, 8.5 to 9-inch, depending on the size.
It also, from your picture, it looked like it was a little narrower than the placket.
It's a narrow band. It'll only be with the 4 stitches.
Yes.
So I had to put a few extra stitches in
the collar.
Cast on.
Yeah, in the neck.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what I'm working on. Those are my current Phrancko inspirations, but I'm pleased with this. I did this today. It's as stretchy as knitting, which is part of why I like it. It doesn't roll up. It's unblocked, but I don't think it'll change much. It has enough weight that it lays flat. I like it.
Did you, by any chance, use my new facility to create your multi-sized patterns?
I will be doing so.
Well, unfortunately, right now, there is no child set of sizes.
Well, right now, there's
that this week.
Right now, there's no child-sized prototype being knit, just a few swatches. I'm halfway through the sleeve shaping of the adult prototype. So the right one for me is not there.
I have changed the interface from what I showed you a couple of weeks ago. The way it works now is when you say I want a pattern for multiple sizes, it then says, okay, do you want to knit a pattern for men's sizes, women's sizes, and it will soon say, or children's sizes. You choose one of those 3, and it automatically creates 9 sizes.
I think that's great. I'd love to hear.
And it fills out the values, which is why I don't have the children's yet. I haven't set the values for those. But it fills out values that might be used, or you can change any of them you want to change. You can make them whatever you want them to be. If you don't want 9 sizes, you can delete down to the number of sizes you actually want.
Yeah.
But it's always going to start with 9 sizes, which range in chest width for a man from, I think, 32 to 62. So it's size inclusive if you keep all 9 sizes.
That's really excellent. I will use every one of those sizes, I'm sure. So I'm excited to use it and get a pattern out and talk to other designers I know and some of the designer groups about this tool, because I am a total Phrancko shill, as you know.
And I am so grateful that you are.
I spend a lot of time talking to people about this. So
I really think this is an excellent tool for designers. And I'm not seeing people flocking to it by any means. But I'm still working on the sizing, but they're only suggested sizes. So, you can change any sizes you want and any way you want.
Yeah, I'm sort of percolating in my head right now how I want to approach putting in measurements for the sleeve, whether I just want to give it a normal set of arm and wrist measurements and then do the work longhand myself, or if I want to monkey with the settings. As you know, I also enjoy, but that might be not the time if I'm actually trying to get something.
Well, I'll try to get some suggested child sizes up. It'll probably be size 1 through 10 or something like that. 1 through 9 or 2 through 10. So they're 9 sizes 1 year apart, something like that.
And the reason, there is a reason I've chosen these 2 separate projects, other than I had ideas for them. And that is they do 2 types of designer work that a designer might have to do. And one is changing stitch counts for a stitch pattern. And the other is adjusting lengths and stopping patterns in particular places. And I wanted to, I've done that on my personal projects, but I wanted some experience doing it with what the Phrancko site now generates so that I can, give proper testimonials. So I'm excited to look at the sizes and then, making those designer decisions as to, well, is this size going to be a little small or a little big? Because I need it to be a multiple of 8 stitches to fit.
Yes, now that's going to be tricky. That will be tricky to get when you need a multiple of 8 stitches around the chest.
Right.
To know for sure that it's going to be that, except if you know your gauge, like if you know it's 4 stitches per inch, then you just say the chest is, each size goes up by 2 inches.
That inch,
It's gonna, that will translate into 8 stitches, if I said it right. And,
I know what you mean. Algebra.
Yeah, exactly. And because you enter the garment size, not the person size, it's easier to do that.
Work it in multiples of whatever the width of the stitch pattern multiple is.
That's right.
Clever. Maybe I'll do that. So I'm excited to work on this and share my progress and get the Phrancko for Designers experience. So that's what I'm working on. The stuff that I've been studying so far in the designer certification program, being able to put that into immediate use and just start. I can't stand sitting on knowledge for a rainy day.
I would love to start seeing designers selling my patterns all over Ravelry.
Well, here's hoping.
Yes.
So I hope to just be able to give glowing recommendations for designers in addition to just knitters and yarn shoppers. I think plenty of people at the shop are maybe tired of hearing me talk about it. Or the answer is always the same. It's where did you get this pattern? Oh, well. Oh, okay. Well, what about this one? Yeah, same place. Okay, but what about this one for a little girl? Same place. All in one.
This is too good. Thank you, Ron. So does somebody else have something they'd like to show us?
Not this week.
No, just starting. So.
Well, I'll show you my progress on my Intarsia in the round.
Oh my God.
Let me see.
Wow.
That's really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
just as it says on the tin, huh? That is definitely Intarsia.
It's let me see if I can uncurl the edges enough so you can see. As you see the lines.
Yeah.
Starts here and goes diagonally down across the front of the sweater. And then one sleeve is navy blue and one sleeve is cedar, this is called. And so the sleeves are going to be at two different colors. Those two colors will suddenly start appearing at the bottom half of the sweater, and these two colors will disappear from the sweater as it goes down.
Ooh.
Wow.
They might reappear on the cuff or the neckline. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing at the cuff and neckline. But anyway, that's the beginning. And I'm really excited about it because I love doing it. And every time I tell people I'm doing Intarsia in the round, I get the reaction I got here. Oh my, really? You're doing that? That's so hard. And I'm convinced it's not hard. It's very easy.
You make it look easy.
And I'm going to do a video. I'm going to show you why it's easy. There is only one rule. And that rule is when you change colors, take the yarn on the strand of yarn that is on the right, in the color that's on the right, place that across the back of the two needles and pick up the yarn you're going to work with from underneath it and start going in the other direction, in that direction. And that's it. Just
it's only one rule, but
it's only one rule. It happens to have three different ways of applying it. And that's why people get confused. Well, which way do I do here and which way do I do there? But I think I can explain it in a way that it will all be very clear and simple. That's my hope anyway. And so I hope that after this sweater, everyone will go, Intarsia in the round. Oh, that's no harder than knitting a sweater that's flat. It is like knitting flat though. It is every other row knitted and every other row purled. So it's knit and purled. So that's it.
That is cool.
Can't wait to see it. The sweater and the video.
I just remembered we were discussing needle gauges. Cindy, do you happen to have a needle gauge?
I do. I have the one that you sent me.
Best needle gauges.
Ta-da!
I sent Cindy a prize.
Yes, she did.
Love those needle gauges.
It worked. I was just checking it because I'm back doing my Phrancko sweater again now since I sent in my level 1 and I finished the little hat that I was doing when I could only think about nothing, and then I'm back doing the Phrancko. So I've got one sleeve is quite a ways done.
Oh, nice.
It's really coming, getting really, really long. So I got about a couple more inches until I'm ready at the bottom to do the bottom ending. And this has the yarn inside, so that's why the arm is that. But it's still connected there. So I was trying. But I was careful to get it all lined up. So that's very cool. I'm really liking it. And this is the round neck.
Wow. It's a lot deeper than I would have guessed it would be.
I don't think it is when it's on.
Oh, right.
I don't
it doesn't.
think it's
You're
really
right. When you pulled it up,
like
that looked normal.
Yeah, no, it's normal.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be great when I've tried it on. So but I'm liking it. It's fun to be back doing actual regular knitting.
Yeah.
When do you get your level 1 results?
It'll still be several weeks. I think it's only been like 2 weeks since they've had it, and they say allows 6 to 8 weeks. So
okay. Okay.
I know that it got there, but I've not heard anything else.
That will be an interesting conversation when it comes back.
Well, if it's really bad, I won't say anything, Walter.
I'm still waiting for it to get back. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Post
office is taking so long these days. I can show you one of my palette cleanser projects I've done between Phrancko letters this year. It's on my dog bed.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's a tiny little pie shawl that I've stretched over a quilting hoop.
Yeah.
I wanted a way to display samples of gradient yarns in the shop, and this is what I came up with.
Wow.
That's really pretty.
Cool. That's very nice. Yeah.
It was fun.
What did you stretch it over?
A quilting hoop.
Oh, a quilting hoop. Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I didn't bind off. I just threaded yarn through the live stitches, pulled it over the hoop, and drew it tight.
That is great. I love it.
It's really nice to see how the colors change.
Yeah. And it was fun to do on a day that I wasn't, for some reason, knitting yet another sweater.
I had an interesting conversation this morning. Someone wrote me an email and said, well, he complimented me on my work, which was nice. And then he said, I am starting to knit one of your sweaters from Phrancko.com. And I've restarted 5 times in the last 3 days, and I'm really having trouble getting started. So I said, well, let me help you. Let's have a Zoom session, or maybe you could come to the Zoom meeting on Saturdays. And he said, well, actually, I'm in Djibouti, Africa.
Oh my God.
It's 11 hours different from your Pacific time. So it wasn't possible for him to come. And so I said, well, let's just set up a private session. And so we had that at 9 o'clock this morning, which was 8 p.m. his time. And he actually did understand the pattern really well. He's doing the saddle shoulder, and he understood how to work the neckline and the sleeve cap shaping at the same time. His only problem was getting his gauge correct. So his gauge was, the gauge didn't match the gauge of his swatch, is what we finally concluded. And he's going to have to do it at different, on different
needles.
Gauge, different needles.
Was it because he did his gauge swatch flat and not in the round, or what?
We didn't actually determine why that happened. I talked about the blocked gauge versus unblocked gauge, and he knew that. He had done his gauge blocked. And I said, well, maybe your unblocked gauge was just really different, and that's what you're seeing. And he said, no, I also measured that, and it's very close. And he said, but when I took the gauge from my sweater, it's not the gauge that my swatch was. And so that's why his sweater was getting to be bigger than he thought it should be, which was his main problem once he figured out how to do the pattern. But he restarted the pattern a few times until he understood what the pattern was actually saying you should do. But by the time I had a session with him, he had already understood everything. Now it was just very interesting. He's in the Army. He is a medic. And he has a lot of time on his hands because he works in an aid station in the Army, and sometimes they don't have any patients, and so they just sit around. So he knits.
Lots of time.
What a great job.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's on the night shift, and when he's on the night shift, he said he'll drop into our meeting. So
Great.
his name is Ben, and he's a soldier in Djibouti, and I look forward to having him join us sometime.
Wow.
Good.
Is he American or is he
American? Yes.
American. Yeah.
Well, you deserve a lot of compliments, Frank. You're so good and you're so nice to work with and you're so helpful.
Okay, you're really.
I could never have gotten through this without you.
I think I'm supposed to just say thank you.
Yes.
But
well deserved.
I'm humbled by such praise.
You could also say, I didn't quite catch that. Can you repeat?
I've actually done that before too.
Walter, where are you from?
I'm from Long Island.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Where are you from, Claire?
Bakersfield, California.
Never heard of her.
Oh, right. Looking at my knitting.
Well, Ron, you know it's going to be 90 degrees tomorrow.
Is that right?
They said it was going to be in the high 80s for the football game.
I'm writing a letter to my congressperson or something.
What
Good luck
game?
with that.
Oh, it's the Super Bowl, Jenny. It's the
yeah, it's the Super Bowl. Yeah.
The Bengals made it, but I'm more of a fan of the Go-Go's. And that's the only football joke I'll ever make.
That's fun.
Well, Frank had talked about that he gets his inspiration from designing for learning a new technique. What do some of you others that design sweaters, where do you get your inspiration from?
The yarn.
The yarn.
The yarn. Absolutely. And I don't know, I just go through stuff in my head. But, and also, you know, my family is big. I have a big family and they want certain things. Now here I am, I'm making this sweater for my daughter and I really want to do this cool sleeve, but she doesn't want it.
Huh.
Oh.
Wow.
So I'm gonna make another sweater and I'm gonna just make it for the model and do my own thing for some patterns because I get tired of just doing what only other people want.
So maybe you should teach your daughter how to knit.
Oh, I tried that a long time ago. That was not a big success.
Yeah.
No. She doesn't like knitting.
Art for hire is difficult, I understand. Because the artist, you're not creating what comes out of you. You're trying to create something that they're asking for.
Yeah. It's a compromise, you know.
Sounds like a trap to me.
Trap.
Well, I think sometimes it is, but other times it isn't. It's like, I mean, the sweater that one of the granddaughters wanted, she wanted this lace yoke and big billowy sleeves and stuff. And I'm like, I can't do that. But I did it, and I'm glad that I did it because then I learned how to do that because I hadn't done any lace, really anything. And I never would have thought to do that blousey sleeve. So sometimes it can be nice, but if you have other stuff that you want to do, it's a pain.
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask Ron a question. Did you ever do your video for that technique for the sleeve? Because I've got this idea for a sweater I want to do that's kind of like a mini cables thing, but it just comes down straight. And then I want to put that hem in that you came up with.
Yeah, I've filmed much of it. That sweater is completed. It's on the blocking boards at the shop right now. So I'll finish filming that and hopefully get that all edited and written out as a tutorial soon. It's on my list of upcoming to-dos.
Are you going to do it in costume?
Ah.
I do not approve of long tutorials. They're always vulgar. We'll see if I can even get myself into that costume tonight. I may just roll on the floor and throw a tantrum if it's too warm in there. I'm scared.
Oh,
Well, the
Rana,
skirt's
I
big
hope I
enough. You should
haven't
be able to just
ignored
have
you
an
too
air
long.
conditioner.
Rana, I see that you asked something in chat, and since you don't have a microphone where you were ignoring you too much, but you asked, did you say you're going to do a video on Intarsia? And I did say that. In fact, I'm going to do a video on Intarsia in the round. So I'll start with a little bit about just how Intarsia works, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to be focusing on how to do it in the round, like this. It just occurred to me before we go, I should show you the back side of this so you see that it looks like Intarsia. That's exactly how Intarsia
Oh, it
looks.
is. It's the same.
And every one of the color separations is like that.
Wow.
A lot of loose.
Oh, that's amazing.
But they're all just Intarsias. They're all identical. It's the technique that's used to create them that people find difficult. And I'm really excited. I'm probably going to do the video this week using this piece of a sweater that I'm working on.
That's a beautiful sweater. Love those colors.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good. I didn't know the word pied, as in Pied Piper. And, my husband said, "Oh, are you going to work that pied sweater?" And I said, "What pied sweater?" And he said, "You know, the one you did the little baby sweater was, the pied one." And I said, "What does pied mean?" And he says, "It means multicolored, you know, like the Pied Piper." And I went and looked up, and all the pictures of the Pied Piper, he's wearing this multicolored, you know, left shoulder's one color, right shoulder something else. It's a pied sweater. I didn't know I was making a pied sweater.
That means it doesn't look like it's a piece of cake.
So you now have your title for your sweater.
That's right. I'm going to call it the ITR Pied Sweater. ITR stands for in the round.
In the round.
So I see it's gotten to be that time. And
Yep.
Boy, this hour went fast this week, it seemed to me. But it was, as always, really great to see you all. Let's do a gallery view, and then we can all say goodbye. See you next week.
Hey, goodbye.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.
It was nice seeing you all.
Good to
You
see
all.
everybody.
Have a nice week.
Everybody.
And next week I will be
Go
at a
Bengals.
men's knitting retreat, so I may not be here for very long, but I'll stop in hopefully and say hello. But everyone, please meet and enjoy your meeting together. But I'm going to another men's knitting retreat this one's in Colorado.
Oh, have fun.
We're in Colorado.
Well, I fly to Denver and then we ride somewhere up into the mountains. I don't know where it is.
Oh, you'll have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snowy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I hope I don't get snowed out.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Hi,
everyone.
Frank.
Bye.